rain and it didn't rain and it didn't rain. And we finally have like little sprigs like sticking up just from the moisture in the ground, but just nothing really going on these sunflowers. They should already be like probably 12 or 18 inches tall. And so we're way behind on those. Our pumpkins are way behind as well. So living the farmerish life, we are on the struggle bus with the rain. It either comes in 6 inches or none at all. So you take your
Right.
pick, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, I think it's so cool you guys did all that. That's neat. Especially you guys just like survived building a house and two weddings. And then the fact that you had any energy to embark on that adventure, like you guys are awesome.
Well, I have a lot of help. I have to say, like Morgan Wallen and Post Malone. I had some help, definitely.
Ellie Green.
But it does take a lot. And the equipment, oh my gosh, the equipment I've had to borrow from my father-in-law. He's got acreage as well, so that's helped too. But it is a lot. But I will say it's pretty relaxing to jump on a tractor and to just start, tilling up land and getting it prepped up. It's kind of nice. You just get a drink of your choice out there and put your earbuds in so you don't listen to the diesel and take off. So it's fun. So whatever it is that you do in the evenings, make sure you do something that's relaxing to recharge yourself. So anyway,
Yes.
all right. So that's the farm life right there. So it's good stuff. So all right, guys, it's 10:01. Welcome to Mastermind. Today is going to be the best mastermind ever that we've had since we've started having these things. At least it'll be the best one this week. I can guarantee that. All right. So I think part of what I like to accomplish on here, I work on a lot of different things in my business, and you guys are all really busy. We're all busy with life and we're intermingling business. And of course, family always comes first. God and family are coming first, and then our business comes into play. But sometimes our business can feel overriding or overtaxing at times because sometimes we get flooded, or sometimes business isn't happening the way we want, and we're working hard to generate business. So either way, wherever you are in your business, working on mindset is something that I love to do regularly because that's where I try to find the balance. And we know there is no balance in life. Gary Keller talks about that, but I like to work to try to work back to center or balance as much as possible to course correct, because when I'm way off center, I get really wound up. I don't know if you guys are like me or not, but I get really wound up and things can get me pretty agitated. And so I'm like, okay, I work on that with my coach. And so I would implore you to have an outlet. If you have a therapist or a coach of your own, thank you.
You're welcome.
Or a great wife that brings you coffee on a rainy day, I suggest you do that to help get you back to center. A lot of it is our significant other, our spouse, to help us with that, but they don't always want to hear our woes about our business either. I get that too. But this is a huge, and you guys will agree with me, that real estate is a huge mind game. We are working with human beings and they are emotional characters, and they have a lot riding on what we're working on for them. So I would ask this morning, one of my questions, what are we doing, or what are you doing to help find yourself back to center so that you can be the best that you can be to perform for your clients, or find business in your database, or lead generate to find new business for your business? What are you doing to help bring you back to center? And it can be anything. So love to share, love to hear everybody's thing that they like to do to help do that. So I'll leave it open right now for you guys. And you can shoot and hit the chat box too, guys, if you want to do that. If you're not on or can't talk right now at work, shoot me something. Type it up if you want to, what you do, and we can speak to that as well. And I'll get quiet now. It'll be awkward. Coffee's good. Oh, yeah.
This is a very specific, and I'm a new fiance, so I've recently had
Congratulations.
thank you, had multiple clients at a time, which hasn't historically been my theme. So I spent a lot of evenings out showing houses till like 9 or 10, and I did that like 4 days in a row, and then we had a good conversation that I didn't initiate, about how I need to not do that. So I was kind of as the last couple clients I started working with, just kind of setting a little stricter, like I guidelines on when I'm going to be when I'll respond, and just kind of setting that standard up front. And not a single one has cared. I was scared. I was scared to do that, to kind of say, hey, I don't, not on the phone after 8 or whatever. Just kind of setting some sort of time guideline that I hadn't. I was scared to do that, and then I mentioned that the last couple times to clients, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, that totally makes sense." But if I hadn't said anything, then those 9 o'clock calls might have been coming in. So that's helped. And then we started going on a morning walk, just me and the fiance and the dog, pretty consistently ish. And that's been good too, because then if I am working late in the evening or whatever, we had an hour in the morning, just me and her. No, nothing. No, nobody's calling me at that time to work anyway. So that's been really good. Just last few weeks, trying to learn how to be a real estate agent that makes money and be a fiance. So I'm happy to hear what everyone else has to say, because I need this, because we've
Working
recently
on
had
that
some issues.
now.
Yeah.
That's so great that that was brought to your attention, that you needed to have
Hmm.
that conversation. Hey man, I get you got your head down and you're grinding, you're a young man. That's awesome. And you don't realize you got blind spots. We all have those
Yeah.
blind spots. And that's why it's great to have a partner, a husband, a wife, that will help bring that to your attention, essentially. That we may need to talk about some things. But I
Yeah.
love that you're setting up some boundaries to let your clients know that you don't work 24/7. Amazingly enough, you are human and you do have time off. And it's amazing, when you start setting those expectations with clients, they start respecting that as well. And you're
Yeah.
100% available when you're available, and you're
Mhm.
100% not available when you're not available, just like a doctor would be as well. Not that we're not
Yeah.
doctors, but we have the ability to make doctor money. So we have the ability to set a schedule and work it. Now you got to work when it's time to work, obviously. However, you do have that ability. So, Josh, that's great that you've had that epiphany, that realization, and being able to start working on that at a young age. Congrats, bud. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it helps when she's willing to let me know when I'm screwing up, which is hard to
We
hear
do that.
sometimes, but that's better than letting it fester for a few months and then it being a thing. So I appreciate it, even though it's hard to hear.
It's the beauty of being married, bud. They will let you know when something's bothering them.
Yeah.
We will help
As
you.
I get some looks here.
I was leaving a voicemail for an agent. Imagine that. And her voicemail said she doesn't work Sundays and doesn't take calls after 6. And I thought, well, I'm glad I got her voicemail. I'm going to adopt that policy because I can establish a boundary like you, Josh, and have some parameters. If there's somebody that I've been working with and they only can see homes on on a Sunday, or need to speak after 6, there's accommodations. But just being more business minded, because I know that high producers in our company are getting time to enjoy their families. And if we follow what you guys have done, we will have the same um, lives as well, in establishing that we don't have to answer a text at 9:30 at night.
Love that. The freedom and flexibility, right? That is the attractiveness within this business that gets a lot of people in the door. It also gets a lot of people, like Lonnie says, out the door because they have too much freedom and flexibility. So setting that schedule and honoring that schedule is huge, but committing to having your downtime. I've been working on the practice of setting this thing down and just walking away from it. And that way you're not able to be distracted by it at all. It's really fun to do it for a few hours in the evening. And no one died since that's happened. No one's died, so it's cool. So I just try it as well, and see how it goes. Go to dinner and leave your phone at home. Take one phone with you. Take the spouse's phone, but don't leave yours at the house, or leave it in the car, or turn it off. Whatever you need to do. But it's really kind of cool when you go 3 hours and you haven't been dinged on something. it's amazing how we're able to find that center again. So I've been working on that. I'm still working on it. I'm always up for more suggestions, but that's great that you're setting those boundaries as too, Shelby. As far as not working on Sundays, I don't like working on Sundays either. If a situation calls for it, I might make an exception every now and then. It'd be very rare that I would, but if necessary, I would do it. But most generally, not going to happen. So. All right, what else are we doing to find center, guys? Jake, what are you doing?
Oh no, I'm out of center. Just move on to the next one.
You're just move your camera off like half your face. That way we know you're not dialed in right now.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a struggle. I'm a very anxious person. So when I don't have my phone on me, I'm anxious because I'm like, what if something's going on? So that is the thing that I struggle with a lot with kids and a wife and try to have a life. Usually my center is the gym in the morning. So I notice if I go to the gym in the morning, I have a much better day. And then when I wake up and I'm like this morning, I did not want to go to the gym at all because it was nice and cold in my bed and it was dark and I have to wake up extra early to get the kids to school today. And so it's like 5:15 or whatever when my alarm went off. I'm like, like it'd be so nice to sleep in. But every time I do, I notice that I'm just grumpy the rest of the day if I don't get up and kind of do my routine and just kind of get moving. So that is, as long as I get all that done before everybody wakes up, then I'm good. That kind of brings me back to center. But definitely
Routine.
not my strong suit.
That's the discipline piece you kind of talk about a little bit there, Jake, with that routine you do in the morning, and you're religious in your workouts, and like I commend you on that, your health. I mean,
You'd think I'd be bigger,
well,
but
I was going to say
doesn't
that part
work.
too, but you know, that's get those macros in, but honestly, like when Jake and I we actually we got together quite a bit when you first were here
Mhm.
and broke down, like this guy was coming in and he was telling me how much protein he was eating and what his weight wanted to be and like what his body fat percentage needed to be. And he was, we every week we would talk about that because I knew that was important to him along with business too. And but he was paying attention to it, he was focused on it, and he was getting to those goals because he was focused on those as well. And you could tell he was committed to getting up and doing the things he needed to do in the morning so that he could be successful during the day. And then, you know, two things happened from that. We saw his business go way up, which was fantastic. And then we saw his handicap go way up as well in golf. And that's just too bad, Jake. You
Yeah.
just more real estate,
I
your
cannot
handicap.
drive the ball anymore. My putting's still good, but man, my golf game has gotten terrible.
So
It needs to
that's
get back to
that's
center.
we'll get you there. We'll get you there. Just keep working on it. But kudos to you to getting in those workouts in the morning. Anybody else have something that they like to do to find themselves to get back to center so that they can be the best in their business?
Sounds like we need to work on it.
Every day. Every day. And it doesn't have to be the same thing every day, but having a morning routine. And Brandy, you talked about this at our Cass County collaborative collective something. I threw a bunch of C's in there, which was awesome. I can't wait till our next one. But setting up, having that morning routine to help you get your mind right, if you will, so that when you do get here, hopefully by 9 or 9:30 in the morning, you're ready to do what you need to do, or step into your office arena at 9 or 9:30. You're ready to do what you need to do. And that makes a big difference. So if you don't have a morning routine yet, or you would like to have a morning routine, I'm happy to chat with you. I know Jake's religious about it as well. Lonnie, I know he has his morning routine that he likes to go through. I think he goes, do you still go out and walk the trail, Lonnie? I know you were out. You'll go walk the course in the morning early sometimes.
I do. Uh-huh.
Get some fresh air. That's another thing that's great to get in, get some exercise, get the blood pumping. So whatever it is, if you want help with that, holler at one of us. Definitely help hold you accountable to that schedule. So, all right. So now that we've talked about that, working on how do we get ourselves prepared to be our best. Some of the things, I had a couple questions today. And a lot of it is about, one of the things I want to talk about is value that we're adding to our clients. And my question is, how are we providing value for our clients at such a level we still earn the right to receive referrals from them. What are we doing to go the extra mile? I think we know there's a lot of agents out there that are servicing the business and they're getting the transaction done. And so they're in the midst of, let's say we're going to do 4.5 million transactions this year. So that'll equate to, what is that, 9 million sides. Great. They're focused on 9 million. We need to be focused on the 90 million potential buyers and sellers out there, the long game. And so what are we doing to go the extra mile in our business so that we can play the long game and receive those referrals and continue to grow our businesses, especially in a market that is, it's been since middle of 22, it's been different. It has been different. We're hoping interest rates this month will start to make a difference and spur on buyers, but we still need to earn those referrals. So what are we doing to earn that?
Ask for them.
What's that, Jake?
I had to ask for them. I know there's a lot
Ask
of
for them. You ask for them? That's so
Sometimes.
straightforward, man. Yeah, that's
Sometimes
great.
I forget. I'm like, why didn't I get a referral from them? Like, oh yeah, I didn't ask.
Yeah, that's a great thing. If we just asked for them, when should we ask for a referral, Jake? At the closing table, right as we finish up, or how should we do that?
So I actually learned this from you. Whenever I do my buyer consultation, you talk to them and say, hey, as you're going through this process, you're going to be talking a lot about houses with people. And during that time, if you hear of anybody wanting to buy a house or sell a house, I'd appreciate if you'd pass my name along or give their information to me or however. It's funny whenever you do your scripts out of context of your scripts, they always get messed up. But I kind of place that seed whenever I first meet them almost. Like if I'm doing a very good job for you, then the best compliment back to me is a referral. Kind of like I place it at the very beginning and then throughout the whole thing versus just asking for it at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Hicks does a great job of that, of asking for referrals, and they're committed to providing such great service. They can't help but get referrals from their clients. And so that's what they're asking for, is 2 referrals from their clients while they're working with them. And that's how they know they've done a good job. If they don't get 2 referrals, then they know they didn't do a good job. Can I count on you to send us 2 referrals? And our goal is to provide the best service that you've ever had and hit your goals in real estate. And so it's a commitment to getting them what they want. Again, Mike asking to receive the referral to get what he wants for his team, and that's another referral. And it's validation that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing anyway. And he's very upfront with it. And he doesn't just leave it there at the consultation. He asks for it again once they are showing houses, once they are under contract, once they are at inspections, once they're through appraisal, once they are walking through, and then again at closing. Hey, I guess we didn't do a very good job. We didn't get a referral from you. What happened? Could we have done better? And they're like, oh, you did great. And just again, if they don't get the referral, he continues to ask for it. And I believe he does it 6 or 7 times. It's like closing at a listing appointment. You continue to ask for it throughout the transaction, because I believe you guys are all working very hard for your clients throughout the whole transaction. So it's okay to continue to remind them if they've talked to anybody, or who could you talk to for them that may need to buy or sell real estate in the near future. And you'll get those referrals. I promise you. That's the long game. That's the pipeline. That's a lead that may take a year to convert, but you stack in 12 or 15 of those and they all count eventually. And you just keep doing that with each client. I promise you. So Jake, asking for them is fantastic. Love it. What else are we
Ryan,
doing to earn?
Ryan, I feel that when I ask, they're like,
Mhm.
"Hey, as soon as I know somebody, I'll let you know." Like, I just don't know anybody at the moment,
Yeah.
and I kind of want to believe that's going to be true, but I'm wanting something like now and present, right here. I got somebody to call tomorrow. I don't
Mhm.
know how to get them to just refer me a name, that when they just say, "Hey, if I ever know of somebody, I'll shoot them your name."
Well, yeah, then that's great to shoot me their name. But honestly, Trisha, the best way for us to get in contact with your friend, if you would you put all 3 of us on a text message and just softly introduce me? And that way, at least I have their contact information. Obviously, get their permission first to do so. But that gives us an opportunity to contact them. because, and this is another script, I don't want them to work with a weak agent at a weak moment. I want to make sure I build the relationship. So understand, I'm not looking to move forward with them in the next 30 days unless they are. It may be a year, but I want to build a relationship with your friend so that they understand what our team is capable of, or what we can do for them. So when the time comes for them to buy or sell, they know exactly what's going to happen and they're prepared.
Okay, that makes sense. I think when I'm thinking of referral, I'm thinking, who do you know right this minute that I can service? But more, I'm asking, who are you in relationship with that's going to want to use me down the road?
It can be right now, it can be today, it could be yesterday, it could be today, and it could be March or May. We don't know. But we don't qualify referrals with how quickly they're going to do business with us from the person that's giving them. We qualify the referral because the person that's giving them to us is thinking, of the Fife group when they send that referral over. They're like, that's who you got to call. And so
Right.
that's the difference right there. And we reward the behavior of the referral, not the result of the referral back to the person referring. They get something from us immediately for referring the Smiths over to us. Thank you so much. We look forward to working with those guys. We can't thank you enough for thinking of the Finn group one more time. And again, we're always here to help you if you have any questions as well. And we look forward to the next person that you have for us too, to help them. Again, keep asking for referrals and provide value to them when you're doing so. That's the best way. And the text message seems to work really well, because you probably all heard like, oh yeah, I'll tell them about you and I'll have them give you a call. I'll have them give you a call. And then the call never comes in. You're like, is that call ever going to happen? You've got to get to the person first. If you do not have the opportunity to have the avenue to get to that person to be introduced, the referral capability goes down by probably 80% at that point. You're just not going to get them. So being proactive. Is anybody here afraid to piss someone off by doing that? As a forward word, Jake is great. I would rather and again, provide value when you're asking for referrals, but I would rather run the risk of irritating you, Trisha, asking you for a referral versus asking if you would refer me and nothing ever come in, because I'm not doing a good enough job to receive that. I've got to do a better job of communicating to do that. So that's what I would implore, is just be willing to have that conversation, get permission to it be introduced in a text message, and then take it from there. But at least that way you have contact information. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but you had an opportunity at that point. It showed up.
No, I love that. I think when my clients usually look at me and they're like, hey, I just don't know anybody moving at the moment. But now to be able to rephrase it, of even going, maybe not today, but you do have good friends that when they do move, you're going to want them to be with a professional realtor and service them like I serviced you. So
Absolutely.
shoot me a couple of names. Yeah. I have offered to include some of their friends on like my email list. And I'm like, hey, maybe you just have a couple I can have their email and be able to include them on my magazine that I send out or my newsletter, just to keep them in the loop of what's happening in our area and in the market. And I have been able to get some of those because it just looked like I was providing a kind of secondhand something, not as direct. Maybe they felt safer giving me that contact.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's different. You don't have to be as forward as I may be. Use your own dialogue, your own language that works best for you, but be willing to ask for it in some capacity and get contact information. Another thing that I would say also, because a lot of people are like, I just don't know anybody right now. And I get that as well. But Trisha, I'm going to tell you, the average person runs across 7 people every year that are going to buy and sell real estate. They just do. You haven't done it yet this year, but what I know is I know you're going to. And at that point, we would love to receive that referral from you. Can I count on you for that? I just gave you the confidence that you're going to go across somebody. I'm working on programming you to think about us when that happens. And then 3, I'm teaching you how to get us their information so that we can help them when the time comes. So that's the idea behind the referral. If you guys use this system, we do this a lot. We receive a lot of referrals in our business. We love our people. We send them gifts and thank yous and invite them to things. Again, providing that value. This party we're getting ready to have on November 1st is going to be freaking awesome. This is an opportunity to bring in those people that are really providing value in your business and thank them and get face to face again. And ask for another referral while you're there too. That's an awesome thing too. Imagine getting 5 or 6 referrals on November 1st, right? That'd be good. So those are all things I think about as we head into this season. A lot of agents are going to fall off on Q4. Our opportunity is do the business that they're not doing in Q4 and also start building the pipeline for 26 and primarily Q1. That's where we're headed. And so working on that over the next 120 days will be paramount as we get into 26. So it'll finish a strong 25.
I see that Brandy just posted the fall harvest that we have the opportunity to invite all of our clients to. So that's a great opportunity for everybody to start doing your touching to all your clients, and again, bring up the referrals.
Fantastic. I'm sorry, Brandy, have we not announced that yet?
We've announced it as kind of a save the date.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's out there and we need people to get it out there. We just know more details are coming here soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're working on the remainder of the details, but we're going to have some drinks there. We're going to have barbecue. It's at Big Irontown, so it'll be in Pleasant Hill. I can tell you that. We're working on getting our music figured out. We're going to have live music so we can dance out. They got a big area. If people want to dance, they can do that as well. We'll have a fire pit out there. This place is really cool. So anyway, it'll be a fun evening, date night kind of thing, and an opportunity to have some good conversations with some great clients and friends. Cheap
Hey,
too.
Ryan, one of the things that you said in that, was about the RAS, their reticular activating system. Ryan talking about, hey, yeah, no problem. You may not know somebody right now. However, the average person runs across about 6 or 7 people every year that are making a move. And I'm just asking that when you run across those people, that you connect me with them, whether it's a group text thread or however. What you're doing is you're planting that seed in their mind now. And so when they hear of a coworker or a family member thinking about making a move, Ryan planted that seed in their head, like, oh, I need to connect them with Ryan. Whereas if we don't ever have that conversation, they're not in the real estate business. So they don't, like, somebody else is moving. Great. I don't think twice about it. When I'm not in the car market, I don't ever, if somebody else in my neighborhood or in my circle is buying a car, it doesn't strike any chords with me at all. But when I'm in the car market, I'm like, oh, what are you guys looking at? Oh, what research have you like? My brain starts going there. So we're just setting that up. We're setting their reticular activating system to look for a referral for us. And these are some of those mindset tools that we learn how to do at a high level in Bold. So I'm making a shameless Bold plug here. If you've not signed up for Bold yet, these are the tools that's straight out of Bold. We've done all kinds of RAS or reticular activating system drills in Bold, and that's that mindset piece is, well, I don't know if I can do that. Well, that's what separates you from Ryan. That's why Ryan is a mega agent, and that's why I may do 4 pieces of business, right? Because Ryan's thinking like a mega agent, and he's got his mindset around this is the conversation that I need to have. It's still a generic, like even Ryan said, put it in your own words. Maybe you don't say it the way that I say it, but the point is the same, and what we're trying to get across is the same. And so all you're doing is you're learning these tools, and then you're applying them. How do they fit for me? How do they fit into my daily conversations? And then that becomes one of your tools, and that's how you build your business. Good on that, Ryan. Good job.
Absolutely. Yeah. All the mindset things I've either learned from our coaching, from our company, Maps, or I've been to Bold like 14 times, and some of that stuck with me eventually. And so I kind of developed that skill set over time of repeating. And I think I went to Bold like 3 times a year there for about 3 years. Like we had Bold like back to back to back to back. It just like they just stayed here. The coaches never left the city. They just stayed here. They moved here. It was crazy. And we just kept going. Tim was in there with me a lot, and it was awesome. It was exhausting, but that was the proving ground to get the skill set at the level that it needed to be to get to the business level that I really wanted to get to. So again, yeah, the RAS piece is definitely a bold thing, and how we think about things is super huge because that allows us to execute our plans. But we first got to get our mindset right before we can execute. So yeah, good stuff, Tim. Thank you. All right. What else are we doing? Yes, sir.
I know a lot of people, we had about 20, I don't know, 20, 25 people in our class yesterday. And it just so happens this is the topic that we spent 2 hours on, is understanding, all your relationships, people are somewhere in this triangle. And the question is, are you going to do the work to find out where they're at? And so it was hours of time for me to go through my database, pare it down to 360 people, and then break them into the VIPs that I believe have a 75% chance of picking me as their agent or picking me for a referral. And then the biggest part of the database is the middle, where we have probably a 25% chance of getting that call. That's a 1 in 4. And then the bottom part of the database is maybe like a 1 in 10. So then everything else might as well be the general public because we don't have the relationship advanced far enough to really monetize it. So we went into some different examples of monetizing our database and understanding where it is from the discovery phase to the advancement phase to the legacy phase, different things like that. And I know several of our agents are literally going to now go out and print their database and do this exercise. The VIPs, easiest to identify, you mark with green. The yellow is the people that are kind of in the middle, and red is the bottom. And it's a really interesting exercise. And then we go through some numbers that I shared with the group yesterday. You can kind of know where you stand right at that moment. Okay. So it's really an interesting exercise. It's very enlightening, time consuming, but valuable because it makes you think of every one of those people. So I highly recommend if you're looking, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, or if you were there and you still don't understand, stop in, we can chat a little bit. But the thing that we have to remember is these relationships are fluid. So if somebody tells me I have 40 VIPs, I have 50 middle tier and 150 kind of in the bottom tier, that is constantly changing based on just life and your engagement with those people. So yes, we engage and we close a great deal for them. But if we're just going to send them a calendar every year and maybe the occasional email, that relationship will never monetize to the level it can. So we've got to decide, do we want these people to advance into the upper echelon of our triangle, or are we cool with being a 1 in 10 chance of getting picked? And they can love all over you. You have the best transaction in the world. But if you orphan them, you are literally every day sliding in probability of being rehired by them or being referred by them. So it's a constant process to identify these relationships and work them through the system. And then you will always kind of know where you stand with these people. You don't need a lot of them. Our examples yesterday were monetizing database examples, and we were talking about 100, 150, 200 people max. So, but are they the right people? And I think it was Tricia just talking, am I working on that relationship? When you call them, text them, there's almost zero chance they have a referral for you. But have we set the tone of what we're trying to accomplish and why? I love the idea of asking people to see if they can help me with a problem, because they're going to say yes, even if they don't want to help me. And then say, well, here's the problem. I'm doing this now for a while. What I found is the general public, I used to always say the general public's crazy. So I don't want to deal with them I want to deal with them as minimally as possible. I want to deal with people like yourself and referrals from people like yourself. It's going to have a higher quality of business, and I'm going to have a better outcome for my people and enjoy the ride. People will then help you with that. They feel like they're teaming up with you or teamified it with them. So anyway, we talked about a dozen or so concepts yesterday. I won't go into all of them, but that's what we have to do. And the people that make big bucks in this business, they're really good at this. The ones that don't, or tend to be really volatile, they're just living in the moment, man, and they're just hanging on. And so we get to pick what we want to do with this thing. That's it.
Lonnie, I love that the VIPs and honestly, your triangle. It's basically it's like a market, man. It adjusts every day. It's adjusting. It's going up if you want it to, and you're working it, or it could also crash. You could crash it in a year. You could crash your VIPs. Don't call them. Don't send them anything. Don't return their phone calls. See what happens in a year. You'll smash your business. I've done it. I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Well, you
So
mark
you've
them
got
green
to.
and they're the top of your triangle, but because you're not doing that, technically they've already slipped out of it. You just don't know it because you're not staying and engaging them. And
Yep.
then they become the top of somebody else's triangle. They're Kara Anderson's triangle. God forbid Jenny was Century 21. So it's just how this thing works. And if we want sustainability and predictability, at some point we've got to do the work. And we talked about that yesterday. At what point are realtors going to say, hey, I can go get a job at Honeywell 40 hours a week and all that? Or what if I put 40 hours into real estate? What would that look like? There's probably not one person on this call that truly puts 40 hours a week in real estate, maybe a couple of you. I did it for years. We paid the price. But at what point am I going to identify I have to be working on these relationships as part of my day, as going to the gym is important, as going to the car wash is important, and going to lunch is important? What about an hour or two on this, the thing that has the ability to spin off multiple six figures over many, many years?
And that's the best business there is. I mean, it's 5 times cheaper to work with somebody inside your database than it is to go pay to find new business, or the energy it takes to go find new business. And like Lonnie said, that new business could be crazy too. And then you have to deal with crazy. And we don't need any more crazy in our life. We wanted to work with the people that we know. And that's the best business that there is. So I love that. Love the database. I will always be an advocate for working within your sphere and your circle, no matter how big or small it is. Mike Hicks, I'll go back to him again. He works in a small market, and the guy's selling over 350 houses in this little bitty market because he owns it, because he communicates at a high level and asks for those referrals, and he works on earning those referrals every day. He's committed to it. So all good stuff right there. So yes, there's different ways to do this. But whatever way works best for you, do it, and then schedule it and do it consistently. And I would dare you to try it consistently for a year and see what your business looks like year over year. Does it take time? Absolutely. Will it happen overnight? It will not. But within a month, you'll see a difference. You'll sound different, and things will start to happen. And then those referrals will start coming in. You'll build your pipeline out, and then business will happen. I can assure you that. I wouldn't lead you astray on that. I can promise you that. Whoever your sphere is, just communicate at a high level with them, add value to them. All right. Anything else on referrals? It's the best business there is.
I would add something. I think if we're really being honest with ourselves as we go through our database, have we really earned the right to get a referral from these people? Have I earned the right for these people, for me to be the one that they've picked? I haven't developed this relationship. I really don't know where I stand with that family. Have I really earned the right to get picked as the realtor when they move, when they refer business, that sort of thing? So this exercise is all about being honest with yourself and really looking deep down, and then going, why am I letting this happen? Here's 100 people that I have this very marginal, thin relationship that I'm admitting I probably have a 1 in 10 chance of getting picked. Am I okay with that? Or am I going to work on it to make it a 1 in 4 chance? What a difference that makes, 1 in 10 versus 1 in 4 with a pool of 100 or 150 people. That's database management. That's understanding where you're at and moving the ball down the field.
Love it. 1 in 10, 1 in 4. I prefer the 1 in 1. That's my preference. Just saying.
I love it. Yeah.
Or 3 for 1. I'm even better with that. And that's getting referrals from people. So yeah, I think that's the thing. And am I doing a fantastic job, Lonnie? I'll be honest. Like, I can do better. I can do better at asking for referrals. I can do better at communicating with my database more consistently. So there's not one agent out there that's perfect at this, I can assure you, because we're all human beings. But we can all talk about it. We can mastermind around it, and then we could commit to going out and executing on it. And at some level, we increase our capabilities of what we're doing will definitely improve our business at the same time. Sweet. All right. Time is it? All right, it's 10:40. I'm going to open up the floor at this point because we beat that like a dead horse, and I like it because we got to learn it. What do we need? What's in our face right now that we need to talk about? What do we got going on? Has anything gone sideways out there that we can one mastermind around, maybe have a laugh around it? I don't have anything for you guys to laugh at me right now. I don't think I have anything too funny, but we're not going to laugh at you. But anything we could work through?
I got something. I got something that keeps hitting my desk, and so I know our agents are working through that. So we all know that houses are sitting a little longer. Where some of our agents are struggling with pricing the market or pricing to the market, the current market. And so a lot of with that comes some price reductions. Some of our agents are having to do more price reductions and having to keep our sellers informed, but also encouraged and updated and educated on what the market of the moment is. And sometimes we're trying to figure it out. But one of the things I wanted to point out is the shift book. Tactic number 7, price ahead of the market, seller pricing strategies. This chapter in the shift book is really good. Like it really, and I'm probably going to bring some of it to team meeting on Tuesday, because we are, like I said, there's a lot of our agents that are like, what do I say? What do I do? How does this go? Like you feel bad. You feel like you've missed it. You feel like your seller's going to lose confidence in you, these kind of things. And so these are the things that I'm hearing from our agents. And so would love to hear, I mean, besides, I guess it's a topic that I hear often. So it sounds like a hot topic there, Ryan. So I don't know what y'all are seeing, but that's what I'm hearing here in the office.
Yeah, I'd love that. And part of what you do at team meeting and what Lonnie brings at team meeting is just this, the ability to learn faster than your competitors may be the only sustainable competitive advantage. And that's part of us talking about what's going on in the market. We're studying the days on market. We're looking at what our office is doing, how we're bucking the trend, or we right there, where the trend is. Usually we're ahead of the trend, and we want to be ahead, whether the market's shifting and it's not as good as we like it to be, but we know what the conditions are. We're out there able to convey that to our sellers to let them know, hey, I want you to expect this. Expect 1 to 2 showings a week, or expect 1 showing every 2 weeks, depending on price point of the property. You got to know that. This is what you could expect in this market. This market is not that market. Now, I know what you may hear out in town, or maybe some other realtors may tell you this, but this is what we're studying in the market today. And we take a look at what happened 90 days ago. We're looking at what's happening right now, and this is what it is. And that's why we talk about these things at team meeting, because we want you guys to take these numbers back to your appointments. And that's why Caesar and Brandy print off those sheets to show what we're doing. We're able to outperform the rest of the market because I believe we have the competitive advantage, because we are taking the opportunity to educate ourselves on the market to be ready to go into these appointments. One, so we can educate them properly, price it appropriately, and stay hired in a market that is letting agents go. And expireds are going to happen. They're going to happen. Has anybody been fired from a listing this year? I have. It's okay. I'm not for everybody. It's okay, Stacy. And I told Stacy yesterday, oh, good, you have time to work on other things now. And that's kind of the way I look at it, because what are you going to do, right? We can boohoo about the business that we didn't sell, or we can come to the realization that, you know what, maybe that seller wasn't ready for this market. Maybe I could have said something different at the appointment and set the expectations different. And when you go into a listing appointment, you are going to be negotiating with that seller on the price that's appropriate for it to be set at to sell. And ultimately they have the decision, but you give them the range. But if we're not educating ourselves, we're not going to get to that point, and we're not going to be able to stay hired. So that's our competitive advantage. I can't wait to hear more about that, Brandy, on Tactic 7. Love it. Does everybody have a shift book? You better give a shift if you're in this business. All right. I'm gonna tell you that right there. 2008. It's good stuff.
Because shift happens.
Or you'll be in deep shift. You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, another one I'll throw at you real quick, and I'm not one, but I will wake up and pretend I am every day. I asked Brandy to get me one of these, so she put this. If you guys want one, ask her about it. She'll just put it on your monthly bill for you and get it taken care of. But it's the Rookie Real Estate Agent by Jay Papasan, and I just started getting through the first chapter of that. It's really, really cool. He talks about his bird dog in the very beginning. So if you like dogs, there you go. So he talks about his dog Taco. And anyway, it's great. And I think maybe we do develop a few bad habits along the way over the years. I know I have. And so how do we prevent that? One, we continue to educate ourselves. And two, maybe we just go back and read something like this. It's really interesting. It's like, yeah, like it's so simple. It's so simple. So anyway, I would tell you guys, check out this one, Rookie Real Estate Agent. Always be a student. And that makes a difference. So Brandy, thanks for getting one of these for me. I appreciate it. If you guys want one, pop in and see her and get one of those books. But continue to download that knowledge into your brain every day. Get something in there, and that's one I'm working on right now. So Rookie Real Estate Agent. Jay's written a few books, hasn't he? He's a pretty decent writer. Does everybody know who Jay Papasan is? Jay,
Nope.
I don't know. Shelby, you know Jay Papasan? It's okay if you don't. Okay, good. This guy got hired. This guy got hired because he happened to go into a bathroom on the wrong floor, and Gary Keller happened to walk in there, and he's like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "I'm a writer." He goes, "Good, I'm writing a book. You're hired." He was in the bathroom with this guy at the wrong. He's at the right place, the right time, I guess. So anyway, I don't think they shook on it right then, but they definitely got together and wrote The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and they've written, I think, 7 or 8 books together now. But Jay's pretty dynamic guy. He's been so bold as to kick Lonnie and I and several others of us off of what were we playing? Shoot, it was out in Vegas, Lonnie. We were out there.
Blackjack.
Blackjack. We were playing blackjack. We went to go get a cigar. We came back and Jay Papasan needed a table, and so he had one. It was ours, and so which was all right. We weren't really that serious playing anyway, but it was kind of a funny thing. But if you get an opportunity to read that book, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Ryan, because you're far from a rookie. And it's so I don't want the name of this to turn somebody off that there's, rookie real estate agent and it reminds me of our agent kickstart program that we have made available to all of our office as well. Sometimes we get going and it depends that we all started in a different place, a different market. We all started in maybe a different brokerage with a different, we all have a different path that brought us to this point. And so some of us had great training, some of us didn't have great training, some of us were all over the place. So it can never hurt to go back and look at the fundamentals, look at the foundations. And some things you may say, "Oh, I didn't even know that," or you may look at something and go, "Oh yeah, I forgot that." And then like I always listen to our kids play all the sports, and I think it's all the sports, but anyway, Caesar, I hear him sit there watching the kids play, and you watch these kids, and sometimes the coaches want to get a little fancy with something, and then I hear Caesar say they just got to focus on the fundamentals, they got to focus on the technique, they got to focus on the basics before we get fancy. Especially when they're kids, they're just learning. You got to learn the basics before you can get fancy. But anyway, same thing with real estate. There's always something that we can go back and look at. Joanna, I appreciate you saying that. The Agent Kickstart program. She was over here in the copy room or the work area right outside my office. And Joanna, I don't know if you're able to unmute or if you want to unmute, but I was just listening to her love on that Agent Kickstart program. Joanna, what were you doing?
Okay, so I've been dealing with vertigo this morning and been sick all morning, so I'm just watching. Got my eyes closed listening to this. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of stuff in there that, the buyer's presentation, the seller's presentation, the database. I mean, I've just really been going through it, and I think it's been great. I've been in this for 7 years, and I really didn't have a great seller's presentation, and I really didn't. I was always trying to piece together this and that, and even if it's not something I go through at the meeting, even to send it to them ahead of time and just have them have it in an email. I just thought it's good. And I would love one of those rookie books too, just because I think it's always good to go back to it and know what we need to do. We just got to do the basics. That's all.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Gary Keller talked about that a couple of years ago at Family Reunion, and people were talking about we got to get back to the basics. And Gary Keller responded with, "Who the hell said we were getting away from the basics?" You never leave that. But it's interesting. And if you've read the MREA and you look at the triangle, you've got to work on the foundation piece. Then you can get creative. But so many times our agents get it out of balance, and they want to be creative first, and they've got their pyramid upside down, which makes an unstable business. You've got to work on your foundation and your fundamentals first. That's a lot of freaking F's, but it's true. You've got to work on those things, because when you have that figured out, everything else falls into place. Then you have the bandwidth to be able to get more creative and do some different things. But until then, and I've seen agents come in here and they got these fancy, hey, check out my new logo. And I'm like, that's great. You don't have any business yet. I'm glad you're working hard on that. And then they're gone in 6 months, but they're so focused on things that don't make them or generate income when they need to focus on the fundamentals of the daily activities necessary to build this business out. And that's coming in and making phone calls. So that's awesome.
I think another thing that's impressive about what Joanna said is here's someone who's been in the business for multiple years, 6 figures and above consistently. So let's just say in our top 10% of 125 people, yet constantly working to improve. And we have people struggling in the business that won't do any of these things. So, it just goes to show you that we constantly need to be growing, constantly need to be improving. And our top people are wired that way. So let's just duplicate what they're doing, guys. We don't need to reinvent the wheel here.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we got about 9 minutes left. What else is really stuck in your craw?
I have a
Anything?
question. On the showing that I just got, or a listing I just got in Belmont Farms, in the back, there's a little space in the back of her home and all the houses along that area that goes up to a little creek, which is really just a storm creek thing. And she's telling me that she's explained that she is required to maintain it, and she can not put anything permanent, but she can use her little triangle, but she doesn't own it. And she's super sweet, 90-year-old, just super sweet gal. But I can't figure out when I look like at the taxes and like the flood zone stuff, I'm not sure what information I need to curate, or she thought she had to sign something separate when she bought the house saying she would maintain it. I don't know what that would be. I'm just not, and there's no HOA in Belmont Farms, so I'm not sure how to find out and what it is I'm even looking for.
Question.
I would say a title when they're pulling like the deed, all the information, some of that information, if that is legit, would be in that, in there. Maybe talk to her or somebody, see what they can find out for you.
Oh, okay. I hadn't thought of that. Okay.
Yeah, don't
Is she in a
hesitate to have the title company run preliminary title work on these listings. That can be very
Oh,
helpful for you in these kind of
okay.
situations.
Okay, I'll do that then. Yeah, because it's unique and everybody has their little track piece of it, but I'm just not 100% sure where that's mapped and how it spells out what she's responsible for.
Sure. Does she have flood insurance? Does she pay for flood insurance on her property?
You know, I don't know. I didn't think she was in a flood zone, but I just looked at the real list and it has like a special code there. So I'm just not sure. I'm not sure
Okay.
exactly what we're dealing with, but I'm
can-
assuming that space, all those spaces that they don't own, is for the flood, because there's a giant, like I could stand in it, storm sewer right there that feeds into
Mhm.
the creek. So I'm assuming that's the whole purpose of all of that, but it's just a little tricky. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it or what the buyers would need to know as far as insurance. I guess I could maybe find out who her insurance company is too and talk to them.
Yeah, see what her policy says. You can also go to the FEMA flood map and plug in her address there and see
Okay,
that overlays on top of her lot to see if it does. More than likely, she knows if she's in a floodplain, she's been notified and she probably has flood insurance, but there's a possibility if she doesn't have a lien on the property or whatever, she may not, but you need to be able to convey when you're selling that unequivocally
right.
that you know whether or not that's in a floodplain. I think that's our responsibility to make sure we update somebody that it is for sure, because they need to know that when they're looking at the property. You do not want to try to sell something in a floodplain without disclosing it's in a floodplain.
Right.
Stacy,
Thank you.
I looked it up and it's not in a floodplain. I can talk to you about it later.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up. It's in it's an X, which is no floodplain, but I
Okay.
can talk to you about it. I'll swing by and talk to you about it later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I live in a floodplain, so I get to know all about that good stuff. Yay, flood insurance.
Yeah, that could impact a property quite a bit. And usually within a subdivision, you don't have any floodplains in those lots. However, there are some areas, and I've ran into it, even in Stonegate. I had a property that FEMA changed the flood map about a decade ago and cut across part of their property. They've never had any issues, but they had to start buying flood insurance. And it was a big sticking point for them. But when we sold it, we disclosed that so that we didn't have an issue down the road with someone having to pay for flooding, or you didn't tell us that or didn't disclose that. Of course, it's up to their agent representing them to make sure that they check on that for them as well. But we want to make sure that we're up front and we're above board, making sure that they understand what's going on with the property. So, but good stuff there. Yeah, check in with Brandy on that and get to the bottom. But that's good. It's not in a floodplain. Cool. All right, we got about 4 minutes left. Anything we want to talk about? Because I'll end this call early if we don't say anything right now. Just kidding. Whatever we need.
Good morning. I have a question.
There's Alex. Hey, what's going on, Alex?
Hey, question, real quick, because we got 4 minutes up. So I got a listing in Liberty. We started at 260. We lowered it down to 239, 240. Finally got an offer for 225. We went through inspections. Now they're asking for a lot of things, asking for tree removals, engineer to come over and check the foundation. My client lives in Florida. He's an 85-year-old guy. Said, Alex, I'm not willing to do all those things. If they don't want to take it, I'm not. I mean, we lowered it from 240 to 225, and we accept the offer. I'm not willing to do anything else. I'm about to call the agent. Do I need any forms to submit, or just talk to her, say, you know what, my guy doesn't want to go with the deal? What do I need to do?
So have they submitted the inspection paperwork to you yet and gone into the resolution phase now? Have they submitted
Yes.
the resolution of expectations? So you're in that,
Yes.
I'm guessing 5-day window.
Correct. And I submitted to my client. That's when he said, I'm not signing this. I'm not fixing anything. If they don't want it like that, deal's off. Do I need
Yeah.
anything else to provide to the agent, the buyer's agent, or just let her know what this decision is?
You can respond back that I would, depending on the relationship with the agent, how I would handle it may not be above what our broker would say, but I would call them and say, hey, look, yeah. And in my opinion, there's 2 negotiations within a transaction. One's the price and one's through inspections. And if you hammer somebody pretty hard up front on pricing, like they did with you, and I'm not sure what the value of the property is, so I won't get into that piece of it, but they asked for a good discount off of the price, but now they're also asking for a lot of other things. I just go back to that agent and said, we're willing to work with you on price, but yeah, these repairs, that's not going to happen with our client. And just see where they set on that.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
And Alex, maybe you could
Mhm.
oh, sorry, Alex. I was gonna say, maybe if you have that conversation like Ryan saying, maybe you can say, hey, well, in lieu of the repairs, we could, give you, offer you something, we'll bump the price back up 10 grand if that's going to cover the repairs and, something like that you can negotiate it with.
Oh, I did offer that to my client and he said, Alex, I don't want to do that. I don't
Well,
want
I mean, bump the price up. So if the offer on the table is 225, maybe we say 235, you know what I mean? To give them
Yeah.
some buffer there.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if it was Sandy or Brandy told me, okay, if that's the deal, but this is before all this happened. I was just trying to get ready for it. And they said, well, if they come out with all these things, and then you can say, okay, we'll go back to the original price, which is 240, and we'll fix everything else. But my client said, no, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to. I mean, I understand. He does want to be dealing with all.
Mhm. Yeah, if he's willing to take less for the property than 225 eventually, as long as he's aware of that, what may happen with the condition of the property, that's okay. And maybe you end up letting this buyer go. If he makes the decision, you don't do it. The seller always makes the decision on what they
Correct.
want to do.
Correct.
And if they don't want to fix anything and they don't want to negotiate on that, then this may not be your buyer. But just so you know, when we go back to market, the next buyer may ask for things as well, and we may end up negotiating below this price too. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. That's what could happen.
Correct.
And that's how I would inform it. And then let them make a decision. They can decide what they want to do at that point.
Which brings me to another question. Now that we have the inspection report, I know a couple of weeks ago we were talking about be careful with the pictures that you use because, so lawsuits and all this stuff when you use somebody else's stuff. Am I obligated to disclose that report? Can we use it for the next buyer? Is that legal? Am I allowed to do it or?
Yes, they are supposed to. If you guys have to jump off, I understand. If you guys, if they inspect the property, they have to disclose to you everything that they found. Once they disclose that to you, you have the opportunity to hold that information, and it's his obligation to share that with another buyer because those are some of the findings of the property on the inspection. So yes, you want to be able to share that information. All inspection reports need to be submitted, even if they're not asking for repairs on those items. I still want the chimney report. I still want the sewer report. I want all of those things. If you're canceling, I still want all of your reports. Absolutely.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Best of luck. I know seller may be a little sticky on that one, not wanting to negotiate. And I understand too, they don't want to fix anything. As long as they're flexible on negotiating on price, you can definitely qualify this buyer. We can't do it on this one, but your next buyer, maybe qualify them and say, hey, look, this guy doesn't want to do a lot of repairs. Here's all the inspection reports. And this is kind of where we're at on that. He's not going to want to fix anything. And that way you don't get 2-3 weeks down the road on a transaction and not be able to get it to the closing table. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome, guys.
World doesn't know you dropped it. The rest of the world doesn't know you dropped it.
Hey, Rusty, we hear you. I'm gonna mute you.
She was responding to Alex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so sorry. I am
Yeah,
so sorry.
you muted me. Thanks.
It was cutting out. I thought you were.
I feel the love.
I'm so sorry. And you're done.
And you're done. You're out.
I'm sorry.
We're censoring
That was like
here
the mic
at,
drop.
Southland. Yeah.
Well,
I don't
it
even know what I was
breaking
saying.
up, so I thought she was. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It was breaking up a little bit, Rusty. But hey, guys, we're up against it. It's 11:03.
All right.
Thanks for the hour. It was awesome. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate you all. We'll see you guys. Go sell something.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye.